Paldea Evolved singles got absolutely destroyed over this weekend. I'm gonna tell you why. But first, we gotta shout out the sponsors, us, CardinalGaming.com. Check out the website. If you guys are looking for singles, these buttons right here at the top take you to both the TCGPlayer pages for both the stores. Scroll it down. Go to the pre-orders. We got Paldea Evolved right around the corner. We got Lorcana up. We'll see what stock we get. Lord of the Rings for Magic is going to be posted on there. Check those out if you guys are interested in that. Scrolling on down. Pre-releases events, all of our cash events for Flesh and Blood, Magic, Pokemon are all going to be right here. Scrolling on down to the very, very bottom right here. Cardinal merch. I have one more hot dog playmat. One. That's all that's left. They're done. We're not going to make any more. If you guys want to go support us, buy any of these wonderful things, we appreciate you. Back to the show. What's up, everybody? Mason here, Cardinal Gaming. Hello. Appreciate you clicking on the video, supporting the channel, supporting the store. You guys always do. I appreciate you all very much. We got to talk about Paldea Evolved. Kind of get a little bit of a market watch going and kind of explain the situation that happened over the weekend. I've been watching this stuff, obviously, very, very closely. So I'm a little more up to date on what exactly was happening throughout the weekend. Let's go to the desktop view here and oh, there it is. Okay, hello, hi. Let's talk about this a little bit. Go over some prices and information from TCGPlayer. Now, the situation was on TCGPlayer, they were very, very late putting the pictures up on the website for the entire set. I was putting things in the Thursday night before the official release on Friday. There was not pictures. There's not pictures of 90% of the cards that were on there. In fact, they were so desperate for pictures, they were taking like scans of things that they had pulled and were using them as the official pictures that they have on here. And this is not necessarily TCGPlayer's fault, because Troll and Toad also was really late getting the pictures up. And if you follow PokeBeach at all, PokeBeach also didn't have the full set list and scans up before that Friday, really. So that late Thursday was when they started getting put up. In fact, people were telling me that they were up, and I didn't believe them. I was like, what? I was just looking at them. They're not there. But apparently in the late hours on Thursday, they were actually updating and putting all the pictures out there. So why is that a problem? Who cares, right? The situation is that people really love seeing these pictures before they buy something. They just had on the screen here where the picture would be, it said, picture coming soon or image not available or whatever it said. And people really love when they buy something to look at things, right? Like, that's not an outlandish thing to say. A lot of people, if they scroll through this stuff, oh, I love this card, boom, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, this card's cool, I like this one, boom, boom, boom. That's how a lot of people, especially at set release and people are new and looking at and going through the cards in the set. They don't know what's good, what's bad. They don't know, and it's brand new stuff, right? People just want to buy stuff. So not having those pictures up there for people to reference and kind of impulse buy destroyed pre-release sales for the set. So that people that are brick and mortars officially, we can list on TCGPlayer before the Friday, and then everybody else can pile in on Friday. And normally Friday is when we see all these prices go crazy. The prices were getting annihilated even before things went down on Friday. And then through the weekend, it's just been all the way bad. Now, those people that initially would have bought in pre-release are now also going out and buying. I've sold multiples of cards that I've had a lot of, and people are buying me out completely. Of really, really cheap stuff. Stuff that was too cheap, honestly. Like this Dendra here. It was very expensive in Japanese, right? When the Japanese set first came out. $25 gets you that card right now. And it's kind of interesting to see that card being so cheap when it was so hyped and sold as a waifu, where really Iono is the only one that's really proven the day. Iono is 200 as of filming this. Since setting up this, I've watched this card go from about 11 listings to now 6 listings. People are buying this card out as we speak. And we're seeing that for a lot of these cards. It's important to watch when you click on an item on a card, not to look at the graph. This graph, when it pops up, this graph means nothing right now. It doesn't matter. You can go on this and see, oh, look, but pre-release numbers are always going to be super high. Then it comes back down to reality, and then it settles somewhere along. Typically 2 weeks is what I say to wait before a price kind of settles to where it's going to be. So we have a long way to go from that. But as you can see, apart from these outliers that are here, there's not a lot of strength in the market, and the depth of cards that are available is a lot, just because we didn't have the initial pre-sale to kind of move through these prices and make sure people are being competitive. We're just undercutting the next people all the way, all throughout the weekend. So that's why these prices have been doing what they're doing. I know is bucking the trend here. I said bucking the trend a little bit, because as you can see on the sales history, this is the most important thing to watch right here. This card was floating around 128. This is today. We are late Sunday, and it's important when I'm filming this as well, because it's through the weekend. People are waiting. It's the longest amount of time before people would go and like replenish their stock on Monday. Stores that maybe bought stuff over the weekend, they haven't listed things yet until Monday. So this is kind of the worst time to be looking at this, but also tells like how these kind of runs can happen. Look at this card, from initially being 128 earlier today. Look, it was all the way down to 119, 110. It was flirting with $100 for a very, very long time. Like right here, 104. And I was looking at earlier today. I was like, man, it's holding over 100, but barely hanging on. And now look at this card. The buyouts for this set have been kind of crazy. I don't know why that is. This Iono is obviously seeing a lot of sell through, more than what is obviously listed. As you can see right here, we have one with a picture, and then the next one that's from a certified seller is $200. That is not the value of this card. And like I said, just as of hours ago, this card was flirting around 120, and all the way down to close to 100. So that's just kind of the streaky nature that this can be. It's kind of interesting, because now should be the time when we see the most of these singles, when people are busting packs, opening stuff up, throwing things up there. This weekend and then the following 2 weeks is kind of when we see most people move through these cards that they want to sell through, and the buyers are buying as well. So look at these next two cards. The Magikarp and Tyranitar. Again, look at these numbers. The numbers of listings right here, 13 and 30. And then scroll down to something like something more common. Let's take this Quackball. 108 of this bad boy. I can't see it. 108 for this bad boy right there. So very, very low numbers, and it's not necessarily because it's harder to pull or whatever. It's obviously a very sought after card. That's how prices work. Things that are more sought after, they go up in price. That's just, it keeps things more competitive, and the sell through is keeping up with the prices to make it be higher than a card that's not selling as much, right? That's basic supply and demand. That's basic pricing economics. Some people have a trouble understanding that, hey, popular things are expensive. I don't know what I can't help you. The market is how it is. But as you see, this card is this is all from today. All from today, all the way up to right here. Lots of throughput on this card. Has a very, very low quantity available. Somebody out there is buying a lot of the copies of this card and trying to keep this card expensive, because they either think it's too low, or they want to have a little fun with a little manipulation. That is what buyouts do. That's what buyouts are for. Maybe they have bought tech out of these, and now they're trying to keep the prices up while they sell through theirs. Very possible. Let's look at something like the Tyranitar, another very, very popular card. Again, this card has been flirting around 20. Look at this, 17, 18 for a near mint, 27, 25, 19. It's all over the place for the past couple of days. But the market is settling for being about $30, and then the lowest listed right now is 50. Somebody somewhere is playing this card, and because there's low quantity and the sales have been pretty strong even past through the weekend, these cards are something weird is going on, and could be organic. Could be organic. Just people just want these cards and it's this expensive. I don't think that's the case, but maybe. But yeah, very, very interesting, very, very weird. And like I said, this is when we should see the most highest quantity of these cards being listed, and we just don't see it. You look at something like this, Boss's Orders, 91 of these bad boys available. Based on just the rarity of it itself, should be as rare as an Iono. But again, throughput, sales, desirability, pricing, all those things play a factor in whether or not people want to buy these cards. And people wanting to sell through these cards. If people want to aggressively sell through these cards, these prices are going to be lower than the other type of cards that may see a higher throughput. So that's what we're looking at for this set. Let's scroll down a little bit out of the big stonky cards. Let's go through the normal ones. Again, this Quackleval again should be equally as rare as the Iono, and it is $11. And if we look at the sell through for this bad boy, let's take a look and see how many we sell today. Okay, not too bad. I haven't had to click the list more or the load more, so not as many as an Iono, obviously, right? But again, popularity has something to do with that, and the prices. Just that's how pricing works. But then, if we go to page 2, very, very quickly, we see two very, very bad things. Special illustration rares with high listing numbers with low value. That is a bad sign. That means there's a lot of these cards out on the market, and the more listings there are out there, the more people are going to be competitive and want to just inch below the next lowest to try to get the sales. These prices are falling. They're going to continue to fall until we see some sort of correction, or again, where people come in and buy multiples at a time, think this card is too cheap, and then kind of just buy through something that they think is too cheap. And that may be something that takes a lot of people to happen. So if we look through here, these illustration rares are absolutely selling. Because again, you look at this, the amount of listings that these cards have. These are not particularly uncommon cards, right? These are fairly common, but they have very, very low listing availability for what they are. Look at this Mousehold. 5 listings? That's very, very low for just an illustration rare. So obviously these cards are selling, and especially at these prices, cards are selling. I think there are people that see these cards being too low, know that they're too low, and are making a play here. Apparently, Flamigo, not as popular. Who knew, right? But again, that number that you want to be looking at, along with just pricing, is the amount of listings available. Because again, that's how competitive the sellers are going to be to try to move these cards and dictate whether or not the price is going to go up or down. The higher the number is, the amount of listings, the more likely a card is to go down. That's the information you can kind of take away from this. And just again, the quantity of these things, these full arts, man, full arts hurt in packs now. They're just so common, and there's just nobody wants them. There's a more special illustration rare, something that, this ultra rare of Wu-Chan is this priced, but the special illustration is like 11, 9, somewhere in that range. Obviously, you're going to just pay up and get the more beautiful card if you really just want it for collecting purposes. So it really takes the set collectors, people that want the entire collection, you want to look at a card like this. I think that definitely comes with it. Look at this. Faulkner. Faulkner, why are you in this set? Why are you here? You have nothing to do with any anything from Paldea. Why are you here? And also, look at $135, and you're at $2. This is an undesirable card, y'all. This is very, very undesired. We look at the most should be the most expensive uncommon in the set, which is this Iono. Through the weekend, she was floating around $3, and is finally down to about $1. Again, as people list things, as sales slow down, things like that, you can see that these prices, again, when there's 302 listings, there's just 302 people that are going to be trying to beat the lowest so they can sell through their cards. That is just how the situation unfolds on release weekend. But, like I said, I gave you a little bit of a hint to try to figure stuff out and try to help you being able to determine if a price is fair or not for a card. All you gotta do is look at that listings and see how many listed. And when there's 169 of this bad boy listed, and you're like, well, it's $69, 69 cents, that's pretty cheap. It's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna get cheaper. I promise you. That's where we're at with these right now. And again, we are Sunday after the official release on Friday, and these cards are already very, very cheap. Even like things that you would think would be desirable, like the Pikachu. And the I know Clodsire is pretty popular. this Annihilate that is the only printing of Annihilate in this set, and the only Annihilate printing of a card that has any sort of full art or specialty, higher rarity, something like that. There's only 30 of them listed, so apparently it's seeing some throughput, but it's $2. You know, it's just the mass quantity and the stock that was on hand before the pictures went up, and then the amount of sellers that came in right after the pictures were put up. It really put a damper on all the stuff, this kind of mid-range stuff, to where all the stuff is unfortunately just really, really cheap. And it's sad, because a lot of these cards are fantastic, they're beautiful, they're great. I've really come to like the Chinese Pokemon. I really like the designs of them. I think they're cool. All the starters and all things like that. Like, we're on what, page 2? Page 5. And we're just in the absolute, this is bulk range, and we have EXs down in this range. That is an unfortunate thing. Not overly uncommon either, but it was just so fast, and it was so the sales were so stagnant that I was sitting on a lot of stuff, and I was sweating bullets. I did not buy a lot for pre-release for this set. I was really nervous after Scarlet and Violet, and before I saw what the pull rates were and how varied the hits rates could be. You compare the Miriam versus the Iono. I could very much see, Iono potentially being like the Miriam is now, where it's what, 40, 50, 60 bucks? Sure, that's not unreasonable at all. So I was really cautious about buying things, and I'm kind of glad I did, because the things I did buy was of course I bought Ionos, and kind of this more higher end stuff is what I was the most aggressive on, and then I unfortunately release weekend. It's difficult to predict what things are going to be, but I didn't expect these to be so cheap. I mean, I remember paying $4 or $5 payout on this type of stuff through the weekend, and the pre-release, the pre-orders weren't there, and we just saw them just sit. So unfortunate, but that is what Paldea is looking like. The set is a great set. I mean, it's a beautiful set. I like it a lot. Playability is great. It's going to be a fun shake-up to the meta. But that is what singles are looking at right now, guys. Hopefully, you got your hands on some Paldea Evolved. Enjoy it, open it up, have some fun. And just, we'll see what the market dictates. Again, these cards, something wonky's going on here. Something weird. There's some weird stuff going on with these three. But otherwise, not a whole heck of a lot going on for value in this set, which is unfortunate. But we'll see how it goes. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for sitting through, and hopefully helped you out looking at stuff when pre-release and release weekend and stuff like that. So appreciate y'all. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Okay.